All right. Well, today I am working on an item that is in it's a very hot commodity these days in Texas, getting ready for the upcoming winter. And I have a generator, and it looks pretty sad. I mean, I'm going to try to get this thing going. I've already fixed and sold everything I've got. I'm keeping one for myself, of course, but generators are pretty popular these days. I've fixed quite a few here lately, and I've sold everything I've got. This is the last one, but take a look at it. Yeah, so this one looks like it has been through it, right? It's a Homelite. There we go. A Homelite 5000 running watts. So it's a pretty decent size, puts out pretty, decent amount of power. But man, just look at it. It's a lot of oil down there. This thing has been sitting outside for a long time. All these little plugs and gaskets, whatnot, are just solid, brittle. Looks like this has been repaired at one time. Yeah, these fuel hoses are pretty dry. I think this is just a drain that comes out of the top. Now this one, yeah, it's been through it. I mean, there's a lot of rust over there on the muffler, and it's been banged around. A lot of dents, a lot of rust. Looks like this one, remember in a past video I worked on a roll air gas compressor, and I totally refurbished that one, restored it, and actually I still have it over there. It's ended up being one of my favorite ones to keep. But I think this came from the same guy, if I'm not mistaken. He used this same wire here to secure everything down. He did the same thing on that compressor over there. But the question is, can I get it running? And hopefully the motor is good. But the first thing I'm going to do, I think I am just going to get this thing cleaned up before I start digging into it. Just do all the checks here. Yeah. Looks like some old gas. And it's really not that bad. I was expecting to see a lot of rust. Well, there's some part of the way down, so there must have been some water that got into this and got some rust going in there. But hopefully I can clean that out and use the same tank. If not, these are pretty standard size these days. I can get an aftermarket gas tank and just replace it if it's worth it. I just want to see if I can get this thing running first, then I'll decide. Because I do want to sell it off. These things are selling like hotcakes. So let me get it cleaned up and we'll dig into it. Alright, I got it somewhat cleaned up here. You can see there's still some junk in there. Down there at the bottom. It's so thick. All that oil sludge and stuff. And this time I did not use super clean, and I ended up still having to scrape a lot off, and all this still is on there. But it's at least I can work on it. I just want to see if it's going to try to crank over and then assess this whole thing, because it looks like it needs quite a bit, doesn't it? The tank is questionable. I might have to take it off and clean the inside of it, and might as well repaint it and all that good stuff. This needs to be replaced. I think all the fuel lines Well, those aren't bad, but the filter, this piece, I'll probably just go ahead and replace all the fuel lines. What else? Needs a cover and for an air filter. Yeah, and you can feel this switch. It's just kind of free floating in here. Hopefully it'll still work. And there was some crud in the tank, and I'll bet some water got into it. And yeah, it looks like this thing was left open. I was hoping it was closed, but so some stuff might have gotten down into the carburetor too. So I guess the first thing, I'm just going to spray some carb cleaner down into the carburetor and give it a few pulls and see if it'll even try to crank. But I think I'm going to go ahead and take the carburetor all the way off. Since this is open, I'm sure some crap trickled down in there. I might as well take it off and clean it off. But let's see if it'll crank. Alright, so let's spray some in there. Yeah, it looks like there's a bunch of crud in there too. So definitely gonna have to clean that out. The switch, I think that's on that way. Oh, that's not good. Wow. It feels like it is frozen. Alright, so I'm going to take the pull start assembly off. That is not the right bolt in there. It looks like it's a screw. Let me see if I have a short screw that I can fit in there. Alright, here's a stubby. Oh, dang it. They're making this hard, aren't they? Alright, here we go. I haven't seen one of those in a long time. The way that whole piece pops up, see that? That is stuck. Let me find a socket that will fit that, and let's see if we can work it back and forth. And before I go any further, I'm going to take the spark plug off and spray some, I guess some WD-40 or something in there. Make sure I'm just not going to scrape up the cylinder too bad. It's like a brand new spark plug. But needs to be re-gapped. It's looks like it's a pretty short, small gap in there. Got some WD-40 in there. Alright, I think that did it. And I'm going to spray this down too. It felt pretty hard to pull. Where is our little notch? There it is. Alright, that's better. I think the pull rope is too long. You can see it starting to build up. But let's get this sucker back on. I'm going to point it up this way so we can start it by pulling it in that direction. It's kind of awkward going back this way. Well, that's 3 of them. I think we're missing a bolt here. Alright, let's gap the spark plug and get it back on. Alright, well, we can try it again. See if it's getting any spark at all. Hallelujah. There's a squirrel barking at me over there. But, okay, so it's getting spark. And it turned over. So let's, I'm going to take this cover off, and I guess I'll at least take the bowl off the carburetor and see what it looks like. See if I need to take the whole thing off and clean it or what. look at all that. Looks like it's all melted down here. Wonder if it's from a fire or it's got to be heat. I guess it's something burned up under here. I don't see any soot or fire marks up here anywhere. Yikes, look at that. That's pretty nasty. And I think there's water in it too, along with all the old gas. Well, given the looks of that, I'm just taking this carburetor off and cleaning it. I'm not going to waste my time. I know it's going to need it. Oh, that gasket came apart. Yeah, it's pretty brittle. Alright, let's take a look. Alright, let's take a quick look. I have a feeling it's going to be pretty gummed up in there. You can see it in here too. It's pretty bad, but I'm sure it's going to be pretty bad inside given what was dripping out of that fuel line when I disconnected it. But hopefully we can get it going, I'm sure. If I clean it up, I'll probably have to drop it in the ultrasonic cleaner, which one of these days I'm going to get a decent one. Sorry, I've got a bunch of junk on my work table here today. I've got a few projects going on at the same time. Wow, look at that. That's a beauty, eh? A lot of old gas, rust, and a lot of water. Very nice, huh? So I'm going to scrape off the bigger chunks. And get it into the ultrasonic cleaner for sure. That makes me wonder now. I'm sure we can get this problem solved. But what about the tank itself? Am I going to be able to clean it out, or or do I just get a new tank? Well, it depends. I guess if we can get this running, get the carburetor cleaned out, and make sure that it's pumping out power. Got to test that too. I'll just hook up an auxiliary gas tank, and if everything else is running okay, then yeah, I might I'll consider getting a new tank. But we won't know until I want to make sure it's running. Then I'll take it off and see what it looks like. Everything is just clogged up. Doesn't feel like there was any fluid in there. Oh, dang, I just wiped it off. I wonder how old this unit is. It's been a while since I've seen a carburetor like this. You know what I mean? And it's a Mikuni carburetor. Pretty decent. Let me see if I can salvage this gasket. Only part of it's trying to come out. Alright, cool. I think that did it. Hopefully I didn't stretch it out too much. Alright, what else? I believe that's it. Alright, I'll put this in the ultrasonic cleaner and we'll do something else while this is cleaning. Boy, look at that. This thing is still dripping water out of there. It's probably this filter's pretty clogged up and it's just dribbling out. But I think I'm going to go ahead and take this tank off and let's see if it's salvageable. Because I remember I didn't see any rust. It wasn't visible when I looked at it before. I can see some junk in there and some loose particles, some leaves and stuff like that. But I'm worried about the sides. You can tell by about right here where there was a level of fluid, and you can see the line, just like a toilet bowl line, you know. But yeah, let's go ahead and take it off. I'll get these little wire fasteners off of here, and let's check it out. Because I have a feeling once we get this carburetor cleaned, get everything cleaned up, and it really needs an oil change. Holy cow, I'll show you in a minute. It's just really black. I think it will run, right? And I'll go ahead and take this off and we'll hook up a auxiliary fuel line. Man, that is just melted away, isn't it? Well, that was easy. Let's go ahead and take this hose off. Alright, so here's the tank. I'll have to clean all that up too. Well, here's the tank. You can see the leaves and some debris, if you can see down in there. I think it's salvageable. I don't think it's not rusty. I don't see any real rust in there. Maybe on the sides like I'm thinking, but I think I'm going to flush this out. And because it'll probably sit here for a day or two, I'm going to just rinse this thing out and put some, oh, what's the stuff? The rust stuff. What's that stuff called? God dang it. Anyway, if I pour some of that in there and slosh it around, you know, and let it sit at different angles and just let it neutralize whatever rust is in there. Yeah, I think that'll work. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, the evapor rust. So, yeah, I'm going to rinse this thing out, get all the big particles and all the crap out of it. And I guess I'll have to plug that hole there, plug that nozzle. I guess I can just, you know, put one of the old fuel lines and cap it off, and I'll put some of this in there and let it slosh it around. So if I have it tilted like this for a few hours and go back, have it like that for a few hours, you know what I mean? And that should clean it out. And I guess I could repaint it while it's all off, right? Alright, I got it rinsed it all out, and it wasn't that bad at all. And what I was thinking, because when I'm looking on the sides, it seemed like it was up to this level or so, so I think whatever, you know, the water line was only coming up to here. So I think all this back here is okay. It was just all in this, you know, front part of it. And I just put the hose back on and plugged it up and found a bolt that would, it should hold it. So let me pour a bunch of this in there. And the good thing about this, you can reuse it. You know, if it's not too bad, you can still. I'm going to save a tiny bit just in case I need it elsewhere. Some of my favorite stuff, that's what I usually, I'll put it in a little bucket or something and throw all my rusted nuts and bolts and tools and stuff in it. It does a great job for that. It'll do good with this too, but you know, like I said, I'm going to have to tilt it, let it sit for a while, tilt it, you know, just all that stuff. But for now, I think I'm just going to let it sit flat and get this bottom portion clean. Alright, we're almost there. Got the carburetor on. These things are always such a pain in the ass to put on. It's so close to the post here. Oh, there we go. That was easy. can see I got the auxiliary fuel tank here hooked up. See if we'll crank up and idle, and I want to see if that motor is pumping out some juice. Alright, let's get some gas in here. Maybe I ought to tie that down. Alright. Well, I got that semi-secured. I used that same wire that was used. Let's see, let's turn this on and see if we have any leaks. Yes, there is a leak. Alright, well, let's see if it'll crank. It's got a little drip in there, but I'm sure I can work on that in a second. Well, something's going on. Is the carburetor still clogged up? Alright, the good thing is it's running and the motor is pumping out juice. But I'm going to have to fool around with this carburetor. There was an adjustment here. You can see it kind of sheared off. But I think it's this deal, and it has, when you take this off, one of the needles there is, I think that's the for the idle circuit. And I kept looking at it, and it looked clean, but it seemed like it was still still something wrong with it. I think it might still be clogged. So I think it's fixable though, you know, no problem. Well, that's good. So it's operational. What should I do now? You know, before I take this carburetor back off and fool with it, I think I'm going to clean this thing up. You can see the gas tank over there. I think I'll go ahead and paint it before I mount it down. That cleaned up really nicely on the inside. Yeah, so I might as well, I think I'll paint that, and while it's drying I'll clean all this stuff off, and I guess I'll start painting the frame and all that. So I think it's doable. Parts I'll have to order. I think I'm going to go ahead and get a new switch, because there's nothing holding it there. I was trying to see if the vibration was gonna, you know, make it go back and forth, but it doesn't. It kind of stays. So yeah, maybe that's good as it is. I'm gonna order the new assembly here for the air cleaner and all that good stuff, because this thing is just burned up and there's no cover or anything. Yeah, so that's it. It's all cosmetic and the carburetor. Well, I think that's it. You can see I put it all back together. And I did spray paint some stuff, the handle, and up here it was all dented up and rusting. Back here I haven't touched yet. I think I want to try to get some more oil off of there. But, I mean, it's looking a lot better. Got fresh oil in it. The tank cleaned up nicely, so I went ahead and repainted it. I just painted right over the decals. And this front piece too, I went ahead and painted it to make sure, just to stop any rust that I could. Didn't touch the muffler. It is an eyesore, but just didn't think I wanted to go that far. You know, I'm gonna just try to sell this off real quick. And you can see I put all new fuel lines, a filter, and the shut-off valve. And what I have on order, I just ordered the new air cleaner box and that new whatchamacallit, that vent thing, because that just goes, and you can see the hose line comes around and goes back into the air breather, so any fumes will go back into the carburetor. And that's about it. So I'm going to wait for those parts to get here, and once they get here, then I'll probably give the carburetor another good cleaning and make sure it'll idle. But other than that, I know it runs and it puts out power. That's what counts, right? Yeah, so that's it for this video. I just wanted to get this, you know, to tell you the truth, I didn't have a lot of hope as far as getting this generator running again. It looked like it was in such bad shape, but it was just a lot of TLC, you know. The same thing happened with the same guy when I had that the gas air compressor. It was just used and abused, and it just needed some TLC and just getting it running again, and that was it. This one I didn't restore completely like I did the air compressor, but you know, I'll probably sell this off like really quick, you know, once I get these parts on, because it is a pretty hot commodity these days. And but at least we got it running. It was actually running pretty strong, right? We just got to get it to where it'll idle, and instead of just, you know, pulsing up and down, it's searching for that idle level. So I think I'm going to take the carburetor off, clean it again, and see what happens. But that's the way it goes. I guess that's it for this video. So once again, be sure to like it, be sure to subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next video.